All right, we're good. We're good. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing? Happy Saturday. Sorry I couldn't be on yesterday. I was, towards the end of my night, I had lost my voice because I was, after I had like a crap load of readings yesterday. It was like a bit too much. That's what, it was a bit too much. So let me see. I'm waiting for Xtina because I think she's going to moderate. So I'm waiting for her to jump on here real quickly before we get started so we can get her settled in. How are y'all doing? y'all can put your questions. Y'all don't have to wait for me to get started. I'm just getting myself acclimated. Let's see if she's gonna pop in here. Let me actually make sure I message. That way I can make sure that she's actually okay. So I don't see her. Where's Xtina? Yeah, towards the end of my night yesterday, I lost my voice. I had 17 or 18 appointments yesterday, like private appointments. And normally I try to keep it at like around 10, just because 10 is like a nice flow. But some days I do way more than that. And yesterday was like a 18 appointment day. And then I also had e-readings to do. I started my day off, it went wonky. Because I had, let's see, make sure I'm not seeing this. It's okay. We got some time. Let me get on there, make sure. And if not, I can just, let's see, here we go. That's okay. She'll pop in here at some point when she pops in, so I'm not going to worry about it. She'll get in here in a little bit. Okay, anyways, back to what I was saying. And then she can do the moderating. I can keep an eye on things until she gets here. If you want to, Cassie, I don't want you to, if you're like not feeling great. Mama, I can if you want to. Let me see. How do I do this again? Cassidy? No, that's not the way to do it. Wait. Okay. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, there it is. Admin settings, moderators. Okay. Oh wait, there she is. Oh no, she's in here. What am I talking about? She's in here. No, she's added in, but she's not here. It's okay. Let me add Cassidy then. Let me add Cassidy. And let's see. Cassidy. All right, Cassidy, I added you, so it should let you now, believe. So now we got Christina and Cassidy. So for both of you. All right, cool, awesome. All right, well, let me get started then. So, okay, hey guys, happy Saturday. So what I was talking about before I got all distracted, yesterday I started off my day because I had something. There was a weird glitch with because here in New Mexico we have our own healthcare thing that just started up. And so there was a weird glitch thing with my account when I set up my original account, because I have health insurance that was supposed to roll over into an automatic account. But then I also had an invitation from New Mexico to get on and register. So I followed the invitation instead of letting it roll over, because I didn't think it was going to roll over on its own. I thought I was going to have to register for it. So then I went online and registered for the account, but it never rolled over the health plan into that account. It rolled it over into a new account separate. So I literally had two accounts, but every time I would log on to the site, it wouldn't let me log in. So I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, how am I going to get this worked out? So I had to call them, and I've been talking, because it just started. I was on the phone one day for an hour waiting so I could talk to a tech person. Finally got it on hold with somebody. They said they were going to, send it to a trouble ticket. They would call me back, and then they would resolve it. So yesterday, I just started my e-readings, because I always do a bunch of e-readings before I get started with my day. And I started the first e-reading. I literally was in the first sentence of saying what I was saying, and then I was getting a call from New Mexico. I was like, damn it. I'm like, they're calling me right in the middle of and I only give myself so much time in the morning before I start working in my appointment. So I answered that call, was dealing with a tech guy on the call, and he ate into all of my my e-reading time. So I was like, God damn it. Okay. So then I started my appointments and I had a full day. And I also, because next week I'm going to be in Houston for my sister's wedding. And so I won't be working next week. So what ended up happening was I had moved. There was a few people that had accidentally booked on the days for the wedding. So we had to reschedule them, and some of them got rescheduled for, lunchtimes. And so I had one yesterday on my lunchtime. So I didn't get my lunch. And then I also was like, I had a crap load of readings. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go nuts today. So I had like 18 readings. And then on top of that, then I had to catch up with all the e-readings that I was supposed to do that morning. I had to do it in the afternoon. And then towards the end of my e-readings, my voice started giving out. And I was like, shit. I was like, okay, it ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna be able to do this for an hour and a half to do readings and keep my voice. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that I just need to stop today. So then I thought I'd add it in today. Today was a full day too, but at least I had a lunch and I had some breaks there. I wasn't talking completely for that whole time. But that was it. So, and then right before we got on here, I had a class of people who were training and teaching them how to use their abilities. And so now I'm here. So I was like, okay, I'm working it out. So that's what happened. That what was going on. So that pretty much was the case there. Hey, Christina. I added Cassidy as a moderator as well. So she's also a moderator too. So just FYI, in case, either she or you, it doesn't matter. It's whatever y'all work out. I appreciate the help all together. So, okay. So for those of you who are new, this is your opportunity to ask me your questions. So you can ask me whatever you want to ask me about. Please be specific with your questions. So if you're asking me about life stuff, what is your specific question? Not what do you see? Do you have a message for me? Read me. I want a reading. Those are not questions, people. Those are just simply statements that, hey, Ferny, I see you seeing this and I want you to see this again with my question. No, just don't waste the time. Just write the damn question down, y'all, so that way I can start moving through those as quickly as possible. So be specific with your question. If you want to know about your finances, what exactly do you want to know? Are you going to get that ticket taken care of? That's a specific question. Not, do you see my finances getting better for the year? I mean, that's general, but that's not very specific. So you got to be specific so I understand what you're talking about. No vague or general questions. I will skip you. I won't waste my time trying to figure out what you want to know. If you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect to? You don't have to give me all of their information or anything like that. You can just say, I want to connect to my husband, or I want to connect to my grandpa. You can just say that. And people like to give me a lot of information, and I mean, that's great, but I want them to tell me because I want them to give me the information. That doesn't mean you have to be super vague and you're like, I want to connect with this person in spirit. That's too vague, y'all. Like, who is that? Who is that? Like, how many people do you have dead in spirit? Like, that's too vague. I need to like narrow it down because I use that as an anchor to focus my intent to connect with that person. It's almost like, I want you to place a phone call, Ferny. Okay, well, give me the damn number so I know who to call. That's what I do. Some people like to do the whole like platform thing where it's like, I'm seeing like 5 people and 3 males, and which I do that in regular private readings. But when it comes to this, I only have so much time to read for y'all. I need y'all to work with me so that way I can give you as much as I can in the short amount of time. I can't spend 20, 30, 45 minutes on each of you because it's not going to work. So I'm giving each of you anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes. If you're getting a reading and you're coming on camera with me, if you're doing it through comments or whatever, just be specific so that I can roll through these as quickly and as efficiently as possible. If you do want to be on video, you can do so either through TikTok. You have to request to be on video on TikTok. And so right down at the bottom, and I think Xtina or Cassidy will mention how to do it, but there's like 2 loops at the bottom that you click and then you can request to be a video guest. If you're not able to do it on TikTok for whatever reason, you can just jump over to Instagram. On Instagram at the bottom, there's also a little button. It's like a plus button that you click that and then you can request to be a video guest on here as well. For Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, which I think, is it Twitter or is it now like Twitch? You can't request to be on video on there just because I only do the video through Instagram or through TikTok, so I don't have the access to be able to do it because that's all channeling out to like all these different platforms simultaneously. So there's just no way to kind of like get everybody on the same page. So just FYI with that as well. Okay. For those of you who want to know more about me, just go to my website, fernandomarone.com. Everything is on there. If you ever get messaged by anybody who pretends to be me and they will start off with, hello, my beloved, or hi, I am drawn to you. I don't talk like that. I don't use the word beloved. So that's not my language. Get to know me, please, because that way you can know who's coming at you. But these people, they like to be They are scammers and they pretend to be me. So they'll set up a fake page and they'll try to copy my name. My name is Ferny ESP over here on TikTok, Ferny ESP, not Ferny ESSSP, not Ferny ESP underscore, not Ferny FERRRRNSP. Is none of that. It's just Ferny ESP. I only have one. You don't have to double check because I have it in my bio that anybody reaching out to you or messaging you, asking you if you want a reading and asking you for money is a scammer. I don't do business on text message. I don't do business through direct message. I don't do anything like that. You have to go to my website, okay? Just to make that clear for those of you who may not know about that, because people been losing hundreds of dollars and they're coming to me and saying, Ferny, like this person tricked me. I'm just like, really? Like I've only been talking about it forever and I post stuff and try to get people to understand that. So just FYI, I mean, it can happen to the best of us, but just be careful. Don't be so gullible, y'all. I think that's all I need to say. As usual, my statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take, you are 100% responsible and liable for. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. So for legal medical advice or treatment, please consult a licensed professional. Remember that psychics do not know everything or see everything. We do not know everything or see everything. Whoever started that needs to be shot. We only sense things. Big difference. So when I sense things, I sense bits and pieces, and then I got to put that together in my head and make sense of it. That's pretty much how it works. And then I give you my opinion, my idea, my assumption, my guess, my prediction. That's how it works. Every psychic works that way. Any psychic that pretends to know everything and see everything, run, because they're either full of it, they're mentally ill, or they're probably trying to take your money. If you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, as usual, like I said, it's not like I can see them the way that I can see y'all. I can't hear them in my ear. They're not speaking perfect English and not speaking in perfect vocabulary or grammar or whatever. They're not speaking like that. They are in my head and they trigger stuff inside of me. They trigger my thoughts, my emotions, my memories. My job is just to take that information and figure out what that means. It's always easier when I have someone to validate or to confirm what I'm getting. It's not like it's a one-way conversation where I'm just taking dictation and then I'm telling you verbatim. It doesn't work that way. I'm not Jennifer Love Hewitt. This is not the Ghost Whisperer. It does not work that way. It's more like Medium with Patricia Arquette, where she's having all these crazy dreams and she's like, what the hell does that mean? And she wakes up all cranky and pissed off because she don't know what it means. That's how it works. So that's the reality of the situation. So that's how they communicate with me. My job is to figure out what it means. Okay. So that's it. All right. So let's get started here. I'm not going in any particular order. I am very much, I am me. So if you have a problem with a gay Hispanic Mexicano, or if you have an issue with someone who's going to curse here and there, you probably just want to log off. You probably don't want to stick around because you're going to be disappointed by me. All right, so let's go through here. Oh, and people who are rude or disrespectful, y'all will end up on my shit list because I have no patience for y'all. I'm up here doing this to help you, and if you have a problem or you want to go off and mouth off and be rude to people up in here, then just watch out because I have no tolerance for that. Nicole Alexander. Hi, Ferny. Any messages from my dad? Yeah, from dad. The first thing, thank you. Yeah, a couple of things. One is I am seeing, I'm almost seeing something that reminds me of a tattoo. So there might be a reference to like a tattoo that is connected to your father because I'm almost reminded of something like that. So I would say that there might be a connection to a tattoo with your dad. It wouldn't surprise me if it's on the wrist as well, or it's on the hand, because I'm seeing something right here and I'm getting drawn to this as well. So I'm thinking this is what he's referring to. I also keep acknowledging either that or you have a watch, which is the only other thing that's inscribed. And that would be the only other thing that I can make a reference to with that. Because I was seeing like an inscription, but I was thinking it was on the wrist, but I'm thinking that this is like a tattoo. So I'm thinking that's what it is. I'm also seeing the number 20. So the 20th of a month is significant, or would be connected. So there's a 20 reference, whether there be a birthday, death date, anniversary date, or a significant date that would be related to either him or to you in your life. I also keep feeling thank you. It's funny because he keeps smiling at me. So he's smiling and wanting to make sure that I show you a smile. So he's like smiling at me, almost like he's wanting to make sure you know that he's okay and that he's at peace. He also makes me feel thank you. He keeps touching you on your back. So if you ever feel something that kind of presses up or that you feel a sensation across your back and right here, he likes to come around and he likes to touch your back. So just be prepared for that as well. He also keeps acknowledging I keep seeing a like a squiggly line. It reminds me of a wave. I'm thinking of a wave or like the ocean. So there might be a reference to him either wave, like a surfboard wave, or like water on like a picture. I'm not thinking it's just like the beach or the ocean. I'm thinking there's a significance to like a wave. So it's almost like either there's like a logo that's a wave that's connected to dad, or the significance of like the wave is connected. Because I'm almost seeing something like that that might be referencing or be related. Okay. That's a weird symbol because I've not seen that before. So that's like a new symbol that I'm seeing there. I'm feeling fine. Thank you for asking. Thank you. I am feeling fine. I got my voice back. It came back this morning, so I'm good to go. And it's not like I'm sick, y'all. I'm not sick. I just overused my voice. You can only talk so much in a day before your voice is like, screw you. I'm shutting down. Happy belly, please. Hi, Ferny. Will my sister-in-law get her rainbow baby soon? What's a rainbow baby? What's a rainbow baby? I've never heard of that term before. As far as like getting a baby, I mean, I'm assuming that you mean like baby. I want to say that there might be. I'm not saying soon because I'm not thinking this is soon. It actually might happen this year though, because I'm thinking it's going to be this year, but it may not be as soon as she would want. I'm going to say 5 or 6 months. 5 or 6 months is what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, Pauline, I can see you. Let's see. Tabitha Ramirez, Ferny, do you think my planned surgeries in the next few months are going to go well? Yeah, I don't know how many you're expecting, but I keep seeing 3. So I don't know if you're expecting to have 3. If you're only expecting to have like 1 or 2, it may end up turning into like a third because I'm almost feeling the number 3. I do feel that between the second and the third, something has to either be adjusted or something just has to be kind of reworked into another one or into the third one. So I'm thinking that it's going to be like 3 of them though. And I feel like they'll be okay. It's just, it might be more of an extensive process than you expected. Okay. Also, you might be worried about you might be worried about it after the first one, but I actually think it'll be okay. I'm thinking it'll be okay. Pauline, my mom here. Yeah, as far as your mom is concerned, she showed me, thank you. She showed me the number 2. So the second of a month may be significant or the month of February may be connected. She keeps showing me a heart. So my reference for a heart would be a few things. Either there might be a relation to a heart function or heart issue that might have been a part of the process, or there's a heart picture that's connected to mom or either Valentine's Day, which would be the only other heart reference that I have. But those would be connected because there's something there that she's making reference to with this heart. She also keeps, thank you. She also keeps acknowledging, she's putting her hand over her mouth. Whenever I see that, it's usually my symbol for there wasn't the opportunity to say goodbye, she couldn't communicate prior to her passing, or there was something she wasn't sharing with you about the situation. But I'm thinking it's either not having that chance to say goodbye or not being able to connect with her at that point. She also makes me feel, thank you. She's doing this. So there is a baby. There's 3 babies in. So I'm assuming that's what she's referring to. Okay. Let me go over here. Sorry, guys. I was like, shit. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, here we go. I was trying to like, my goodness. Okay, I was trying to lower the, there we go. Okay, so that way y'all can see a little bit better. I know because on Facebook and YouTube, it kind of can make it look a little funny. So I wanted to make sure it looks a little bit better for y'all. Okay, going over here. Scrolling through here. Why is this moving? Why is this moving? Hold on, guys. I have this moving. I want to make sure it's solid before I. Okay, there we go. Y'all, I'm gonna have to, because of the thing. There it goes. Okay, cool. I'm a mess, girl. I'm a hot mess today. It's because it's Saturday. It's my last day before I'm off. Technically, I'm not off tomorrow because I do my sermons on Sundays. And then I also have e-readings to do tomorrow that I'm too tired to do today. But they're due tomorrow, so I got to get them done. Questions? Cat Wine Girl. Hi, Ferny. My kitty Benny has been missing since last Monday. Could you see if you can tell me if he is passed on or if he is trapped or someone has him? I'm thinking that he's still alive. So I'm thinking that the cat is still alive, the kitty's still alive. Where the cat was last seen, or where I'm assuming it's your home, but if you go out from where you are, where the property is at, I keep seeing something close by. I want to say, where is it? Because I want to say maybe it's not the, so if I look at the front of the house facing outwards, I'm not thinking it's in that direction. I'm thinking it's in the back of the house facing that way. So I'm thinking there's something facing that way. And it may not be a direct line of sight. It might be kind of off to the side. I feel like there's something kind of going off that way towards the back. And when I go out or when I zoom out, I keep seeing a bunch of cylinders that almost remind me of like pipes, or like a bunch of these cylinder shapes that are near a structure or next to like a building, or it could even be a house. But I keep seeing all these cylinders, and I feel like I'm seeing all these cylinders and a structure. And I feel like it almost gives me a feel like whenever there's like a warehouse or a factory or something where there's a lot of cylinders or a lot of those tubes, I'm seeing something that reminds me of that. If you can look in your area, if you can look up, just look from above and then look kind of off to the back side, kind of going out a little bit. If you see any kind of buildings or factories or buildings or facilities where there's a lot of like pipes or a lot of these like cylinder type shaped things that are there, I would look around there, because I kind of feel like the cat might still be alive. I do think that the cat's being fed though, or someone's feeding the cat. But it still feels like the cat's outside. I don't feel like the cat's indoors somewhere. I feel like the cat's outside, but is still being fed by someone. So I almost feel like someone might be actually still feeding the kitty, but I feel like it's around this cylinder type like structure thing that I keep thinking of. So if you look up and look around and see something like that, I keep seeing these pipes. And I would say around these pipes, or these, it could even be like these cement shaped cylinders, but there's something like that I keep seeing. But I'm seeing like several of these. So if you look around, there might be something around that area that you might see with the kitty in that area. I kind of feel like someone's wanting to take the kitty, or someone is wanting to adopt the kitty and officially adopt the kitty. But it's like a reference there as well. I also want you, just in case I'm late in my time frame and they've already fed the kitty and they're deciding they're going to take it to a shelter, please go and check out a shelter. The shelter that would be like the most, if someone doesn't know enough about animals and they look online for like a shelter, what's the first shelter they would probably go to? That's what I would look at, that shelter, or the closest one to where you live. But I would check that just to be safe. But I keep seeing these silos and these things there. So look in that area to see if there's anything like that around you. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Cause I keep seeing these like tubes that remind me of these like silos, or these like tubes that almost feel like they're pipes or plumbing. Okay. But it's almost like outside. Like I want to say that these are outside, open to the elements too, because I kind of feel like I can see right through them, and they're like laying on the ground, or laying on the they're laying on the ground. That's what I'm thinking. Ollie Tab, hey Ferny, do you see me going to my dream college? Thank you for answering. I'm going to say, here's the thing. I see you going to two different colleges. It's possible that you might get into one college and then you end up transferring over to the one you want to go to, or you might just start off at the one you want to go to and then have to transfer to a different college for a different part of the program. I'm going to say yes. I'm just not sure if it's the first one or if it's the one that you transfer to, but I'm going to say yes. Okay. Brittany Hammonds. Will I get a new car soon?
I want to say not soon. This might take about 9 months. So I'm saying about 9 months you might get a vehicle at that time. Okay, let me jump over here. Yeah, nature of Adria. Hey, Ferny, my little brother recently passed. I want to know if he is happy with my grandparents. Yes. So I'm seeing three like older people like that. So I'm assuming I'm assuming you're saying grandparents like there's two, but I'm almost thinking there's another grandparent or a person that's on that level with them as well because I'm almost seeing like three, but there's a reference there. I also keep seeing there's a picture of him. Either he's like on a motorbike or he's on a bike of some sort, and it's almost like a picture of him either posing or kind of trying to do something on this like I say motor vehicle, but it's like this vehicle that he's trying to like do some pose with. There's like a picture like that he's making reference to or he's acknowledging. I also keep seeing a piece of metal that also has inscription on it as well. So I don't know if you have dog tags that are connected to him that you had made, or if there's a piece of metal that was like a custom piece of jewelry that's connected to him, that may be connected to like a necklace or something like that, because I'm seeing that as well. I also keep seeing I want to say I'm seeing birds. I'm trying to figure out what kind of bird this is. This is not like a typical bird. I was gonna say raven or like a raven, but I'm not thinking this is a raven. There's a larger bird that might come around that might be like a sign from him. I'm gonna say it's probably a hawk or an owl, because I'm thinking it's like a bigger bird like that. So if y'all have an experience with like a hawk or an owl, like near a garage or like near the front entrance of a property or door, that might be a sign from him. So just to look out for that as well. Okay. Phoenix Rising. Smart. I like the way you wrote that. Phoenix Rising. Will I stay at my current job? I do see you staying at your current job for about 2 to 3 more months. And then I do feel like there's going to be a change at that point. It's interesting because at first I'm thinking there's like a location change, but then there's actually like a job change. You're actually going to have 2 job changes this year, I'm thinking. Because I feel like there's a location change, but then I feel like at the start of the new year, 2023, I feel like there's a job change as well. So I kind of want to say that there's 2 changes that are coming up for you as well. The one that comes up in early 2023 feels like it's in direct alignment with what you wanted to get into or with what your background is in, like with your skill set or with your training. Okay. Because I feel like that one's more ideal to what you were wanting. Melissa, any messages from my mother-in-law? Yeah, as far as your mother-in-law is concerned, she's showing me the number 17 or 7. I'm gonna say 7. Let's go with July. Either there's a reference to the month of July or the 7th of a month may be significant because that's what I'm seeing. She also keeps acknowledging. She's showing me something that reminds me of like a cross, but it's like flowers. So there might be like a flower cross that is connected to mom, to your mother-in-law, or there's something about like 2 flowers that come together in like a cross, because I'm almost seeing something like that makes that is significant. She also is drawing on my skin, so there might also be a tattoo connected to her. Actually, there might be 2 tattoos connected to her because I'm seeing 2 as well. She's doing this, so she's acknowledging the baby. I don't know if that means that you've had a baby since her passing and she's acknowledging the baby that's coming in or the baby that's been born, or if there's an attempt for a child coming into the family. I almost feel like it's a baby coming in because I kind of want to go that route with it. So that's the vibe that she's giving me. It's like a baby coming in or a baby to be born. So that's the way I want to describe it. She also keeps acknowledging She makes me feel like she was ready to go, or she was ready. Like it was just, she doesn't make me feel like this was an easy thing for her. And it was almost like I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It's the vibe that I'm getting from her. But she's almost acknowledging like she was ready. So she is acknowledging that. She's not trying to blame, thank you. She's not blaming anybody for her passing. She's almost just acknowledging, oh, thank you. When they do that, I'm not blaming anybody, and they're like putting themselves. It almost means that there may have been some missteps, or they may have just not done everything they were supposed to do. But at the same time, it's almost like I was ready to let go. I was ready to let go. And that's the way she's making me feel. And that's how I want to go with that. Okay? Let me bring somebody on, shall we? Bring somebody on. Start with over here. Okay. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
I'd like to connect with my dad.
Sure. With your dad, your dad is showing me a piece of, I don't want to say I've seen like a piece of leather. Do you have a piece of leather or like a wallet that's connected to your dad?
His wallet.
Okay, so he's acknowledging you having his wallet. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. The third, do you know if the third of a month is significant or the month of March is connected?
The third of the month is when he passed.
Got it. So he's just acknowledging the third of the month. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's repeating his name like 4 separate times. Do you know if there are 4 versions of his name in the family, or he shares his name with 3 other people?
No, he's the only one. I mean, he has 2 other brothers. He's the third brother, but that's...
No, he's repeating a name, and he showed me 444, and I'm like, okay, where are you going with this? So I'm trying to figure out where he's going with that, because I'm seeing 4 repeating, like a name repeating 4 times. He's not telling me the name. He's just showing me name 4. That's okay. I'm going to leave that with you. I'm going to say that there might be 4 versions of his name, or there's 4 individuals that might be connected that have the same name. But I'm going to say it that way. That's a lot of people with the same name. So if you're not even aware of one, that wouldn't make sense to me, but I'm still going to say it because that's how I'm seeing it in my head. So I'm just going to assume there's something there that I'm missing. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you know if there was a mention of him in a newspaper article or in a paper that was separate from like his obituary?
Yes,
Okay.
I actually have it with his urn.
Perfect, because he's acknowledging the article about him, so he's making reference to that. He also keeps, you know what? It's the 444. Have you been seeing repeating numbers like 444 or like repeating like 4s?
Yeah, actually, I think I might have.
Okay, because he's acknowledging that repeating.
You say that, yes.
Yeah, because he's showing me. I was like, what are you talking about? So that's a sign from him. Your dad sends you 4s, and you'll see that 4 repeating pattern 4 times. So he's acknowledging that. So that's going to be a sign from him just to look out for that. He also says, thank you. Do you know there's a dog that's connected, like a shorter, longer shaped dog?
Yes, that was his dog.
Got it. He's acknowledging the dog as well, so he's making reference to the dog as well. He also makes me feel, thank you, he's acknowledging your mom, but I almost feel like he's apologizing to your mom.
Yes, they did not get along.
Yeah.
He tried to get along with her before he passed.
Yeah, well, he's apologizing to her, so I think he wants to continue to repeat that. But I think it's different this time because even though they may have tried to make peace before he passed, he says that now he sees everything that he needed to apologize for, and he understands now. So he gets it. So even though before it was like because I'm dying and we need to make, now it's like I see it now. I see it now. And he needs to make sure that she understands that. He's actually come to her in a dream, which is funny because she might have not wanted to see him in a dream, but he's come to her in a dream to try to let her know that he's really sorry as well. So he's wanting just to acknowledge that also. Carrie or Carol or Karen. Do you know if there's a Carrie, Carol, Karen sounding name connected?
Not that I can think of.
That's okay. There would be like a...
I believe his one brother, I think his name started with a C, but I don't know his name because I haven't seen him since I was 4.
That's okay. I'm thinking this is connected to your mom. So there's a name that's connected to your mom that's got like a Carrie, Carol, Karen. It sounds like a K versus a C. Even though they may be spelled with a C, it sounds like a K name. Like Carrie, Carol, Karen sounding name. But I want to say he's acknowledging someone in spirit that is connected to your mother that is connected to that name. So you might have to ask mom because she might have an idea of who that person is. He is drawing on my skin. Were you planning on getting a tattoo for Dad or an additional tattoo?
Yes, I
Got
was.
it. He's aware of it. He's with you, sweetheart.
Okay.
He's with you, darling.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye. I don't know what's she making, but it sounded like popcorn to me. So I was like, was she making popcorn or because she was making me hungry? All right, so let me go over here. Let's go over here. So let me bounce over here. Moment. Life has begun. All right, just waiting on somebody to accept. 5.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I can
Hi,
see
sweetheart. Can you see
you.
me okay?
I
Cool. What
just
do you want to
wanted
ask
to
me about?
ask you, I'm sorry about my throat. I was sick a little bit, so
You're fine. No, no, you're good. My throat was messed up
I
yesterday, so
just
I
wanted
get
to
it.
ask you, I'm having really a lot of trouble with my stomach, and I wanted to ask you if
Mm-hmm.
I should do stomach surgery. It's a skin removal stomach surgery, or will it make it worse? Like, will it make me, will I have good results, or will it just go bad?
Yeah, and you mean like skin, like it's a
It's
skin
like a
graft type of
tummy
surgery?
tuck. I had Cushing's disease, and it kind of ruined my lower stomach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what I'm seeing in my head is I'm seeing like stretch,
Yeah.
and it almost reminds me of like skin grafting. So if this is like a tummy tuck type of thing, I actually think that this would have to be done. Thank you. Do you also have issues where it's not always easy for your skin to, I mean, for your skin, for your blood to clot, or your blood doesn't always clot or coagulate the right way when it's drying up
I'm
for
not
healing?
sure. I haven't really had any trouble with blood clotting.
That's okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not talking about blood clot inside your brain. I'm talking about like if like I cut myself, some blood it clots up or it coagulates and gets it congeals to stop the bleeding, and so it's almost like a process, the natural process of healing. But I keep seeing like in your blood, I keep seeing like a lack of it. So sometimes that happens when people are on blood thinners or when they have to take a medication that thins out their blood. Do you know of anything like that
No,
that
I
you've also had
haven't
to deal with?
done any.
That's okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I feel like the procedure would be okay. You know, that's just a personal opinion based on a psychic impression. I feel like the procedure would be okay, but I feel like the healing process might be a little bit more intensive than you would care for because of the healing of the skin and the layer due to the blood thinning. And there might be some issues there that they may make you aware of. What I would say is before you decide to do this, talk to a doctor to make sure that you're not struggling with any kind of thinning with your blood and the platelets and then the correct, because it feels like that may affect the healing process or the length of
My
time it
skin
would take you to
is thin
heal.
on that area,
But I feel like
so
the
that
process
might be.
itself would work.
My skin is
Do
kind of
what?
thin on that area, so that might be why.
Okay, so again, there might be like a little bit of a difficulty with that healing process, but I still think it would
I
go
mean,
okay.
will
It
the
might just take a little
results
longer than
look good once it's healed, or will I not be happy with it?
I think that even if you had someone who was perfect to it, you would not be happy with it because I feel like you're just really critical sometimes and you're picky. So I'm thinking make peace with an imperfect good job because that may be the closest to what you would be happy with. But I personally think that if I were to look at it or if a professional like a doctor looked at it, they would say it looks great, but you may still have issues with it. But I think it will still go the
Um,
way it's supposed to.
do you think I should wait longer?
That's got to be your decision. Yeah, I can't tell you what to do, Mom. I can only tell you what I see happening. And I feel like whether you wait now or later, I don't think it would change the outcome because I still think it would be a process. I think it would come out okay, but you got to really think about that and decide for
Okay.
yourself whether you want to or
Um,
not. Okay. I do see you going through with it, by the way. I just think you're going to wait
okay.
until May or June.
Um,
Okay.
is there
All right.
any possibility of pregnancy in my life in the future? August
Yeah. What's
10th,
your current
and
age?
I'm 22, sorry.
No, 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 no.
You're just
22.
say that again for me. 22. I'm not seeing a baby until I actually am seeing a baby, by the way. But this is not till like 27,
Oh,
28.
wow. Um, do
So I
you
do see
see
children.
like love or relationship?
As far as love would be concerned, I'm not seeing you settling into anything, as far as a relationship is concerned until like you're around 25-ish. I do see you in a
Okay. And
relationship by
do you
that point.
think I could like change my future or anything?
Always, always. That's like asking the weatherman, can I change, like, can the weather be different than what you predict? Absolutely. The weather can go a little differently. You can also just move to a place where there is no rain. So you can definitely change the
Um,
future.
I mean like with love and everything. Like, could I possibly have kids earlier
Yeah.
or?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. Here's the thing: when it comes to like love and it comes to like marriage, when we come into life as we're souls, right? We're souls on the energy level. But when we come into life, we come into life with a plan of experiences that we are choosing to have for the purpose of the soul, and that includes positive and negative stuff. The thing about it is, people are always, once we get down here, we get like completely caught up in the game of life, thinking that this is it and this is all there is, not realizing that on a soul level there is a plan set to experience the feeling of being a mother at the age of like 28 or 29, and you're like, no, I'm gonna do it earlier than that. Your soul's gonna win out because your soul gets the say at the end of the day. But um there are things you can change. And it just depends on what you want to change. I'm not saying that your soul is like you're going to have a child at that age and you have to. That's what I was sensing from the psychic perspective. When I tune into the future, that's when I'm seeing it happening. But you can always change the future. I've had people who I say, I'm kind of not seeing you having a serious relationship for about 5 years. But if you work on your energy and you work on your stuff, you can actually get there sooner. And then they do work on it. Most people don't. Whenever I tell people to work on it, they don't know what I'm talking about, or they just don't want to do the work because they're lazy ass. So they don't do the work, and then they end up waiting 5 years, and they're like, well, I guess you were right. But if you work on the energy and shift things within yourself, you can definitely speed up the
Okay.
process.
Do you?
Okay. All right. I got to go because
Oh,
you got like 4 or 5
okay.
questions there. People are like, what is she going to get? You know,
All right.
I'm cutting her off.
Thank you.
All right, sweetheart. You take care, mama. Bye bye. All right. Going on to the next person. Let's see. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
Um, well, I've been having a situation with a guy, and I ended it. I really didn't want to,
Mm-hmm.
but I value myself more.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be my twin flame, which was never a thing I was really
No,
fully into. No.
no, he's a karmic connection. This is someone that you actually had an affair with in another lifetime. And you were actually married in that lifetime. You were the male, he was the female. I want to say this was like around the 15 or 1600s, France. And you were married, you were settled down, and you were just fine. And this person came in and just kind of like caught you off guard and completely like ruined your life and left you in despair. And they didn't even stick around with you. Actually, they conned you out of money when they left. So it was a big old mess with this person. So you got karma with this person. And so a part of you is going to always feel owed because a part of you on a soul level is like, like I'm supposed to have this paid back, or, and that's that feeling that comes along with that. And so in this lifetime, with the interaction and the engagement with you two, there's a part of you, because you did form an intense bond, it's a psychic bond. So even now, when you've broken up, trying to go forward, you're going to feel this person intensely because that psychic bond is not going to go away anytime soon. And it'll lessen, and like this intensity will come down a bit, but it's still going to be there. But the karma connected to this experience is what's going to keep like sucking you back in. So you kind of have to be careful about that, because I kind of feel like this could turn into a multiple like get together break situation where it might turn into a
Yeah.
really toxic scenario.
It's already been like that. And I just wanted to know there was a third party, and I wanted to know if he was actually with her after I left the house.
Uh
this, yes, I would say yes.
I thought so.
The other person, the third party, do you also know that person as well? Do you know her personally?
I met her.
Okay.
She came to the house while I was there visiting for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And
did it seem like you recognized her, or like something seemed familiar about her?
yes.
Yeah, because she was your wife in the that lifetime that I was just talking about.
So it's her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a very, very strange thing what happened, and it was very upsetting. And I had, I had to drive home 2 hours in the dark, and was just completely beside myself. At least I know I need to do like some releasing and cord cutting and all that stuff, and I'll work on clearing that karma, because this was I still am. I'm so drawn to him,
Mm-hmm.
and we had this connection where we could like see each other remotely, and we can connect through meditation. He tried to come into my meditation last night. I meditate daily, and I told him, no, you're not allowed here now.
Yeah.
You can't invade my space. So it's that intense.
Yeah, it's a psychic one. Yeah, it's the same. I had that with my ex, where I would dream about him, and within the week he would show up or somehow reach out, and I'd be like, oh, "Would you just get away from me?" So I understand like what you're talking about, and it took me a while to really move. It takes about 3 months to really get to a place of emotional mental balance to feel the capacity to move forward. So you might just have to accept the pain for 3 months, because that's what it's
Okay.
going to feel like for a good while before you feel balanced enough that you can move forward without feeling like you're thinking and obsessing about this person every day, because it's just going to keep happening.
Right. Well, I blocked him on all forms of social media and my phone.
Good.
So I had to take that control so he can't contact me and try to reel me in.
I still think he's going to try again, and he might even just show up, but he might try again. If you really want to be serious, you need to let them know that you're willing to take legal action if necessary, and I think that might keep him away.
Wow. Well, he doesn't even know where I live.
Don't be surprised if he shows up at your door. I know you're like, he doesn't know where I live. I'm like, don't be surprised.
He does some really different computer work, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
Wow, that just totally freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, you got to be careful, sweetheart. And it could easily, and some people get off on that. Some people get off on like this whole, like, I like to like mess with you and get kicks from just messing with you and all that other stuff. And they get off on that. You just have to be careful, because you need to put yourself first at this point. And you will get into another, you will end up in another relationship, but it's going to take about 2.5 years before that comes along.
That sounds good to me, because I really need some space for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it. Yeah. I wasn't even feeling it when I met him. It was just a weird thing, and I just kind of went with it, but I knew that it was not my time really to be in a relationship, and I pushed something that shouldn't have been pushed. So yeah, lesson learned.
All right, my dear. Will you take care of yourself, sweetheart, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, baby girl.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Okay. Let's see. Going over here. And I'll come back to you, text or comment questions. I'll come back to you guys in a minute, okay? So don't lose your shit. Let's see.
All right. Bye, Mama. All right. Let's see. Going over here. Why did not anybody tell me that the video stopped on YouTube or Facebook? Like literally, like I think it stopped, and then like over here, I was like, wait a minute, and it stopped. So I don't even know how long that was, y'all. Sorry for those of y'all on there. See, this is why I prefer like the Instagram and the TikTok because it's easier to kind of coordinate with all of that. The others are like a little bit harder to follow. So, but I'm still here, y'all. Sorry about that interruptions with all of that. Let me go over here to look at y'all's questions. I don't see any new questions there, so I'm gonna let y'all get back into the room. Let me go over here. Let me connect with somebody on Ticker Talkers. Let's go here. It looks like it's doing something. It's like trying to connect. No, it ain't doing it, baby girl. It ain't doing it. Okay, let me try. I'm gonna try somebody else then, because it ain't connecting. Let's try another person. See if that'll work. Uh-oh. It's not even. It's like stuck on the cancel. Did it cancel? No. I'm trying. So what is it doing? Okay, disappeared. Let me try somebody. Let me try again. Uh-oh. Where did my there she is. Julie talks to angels. Let me try Julie, because it's not even showing me like it's connected. So let me. Oh, jeez. How do I even? It's not doing it. Julie, if you can hear me, because I don't see any video or nothing on the screen, can you disconnect and then I'm going to try you again. So I'm going to look for yours again, because it says connected. I'm not seeing you in here at all. So I don't know what's gone on here. So let's try that again, okay? Because I don't know what's happened with that. Okay, let's see. Okay, she disconnected. So let me let her get back on here real quick. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions here. Let's see. All right. Carrie Campbell. Message from my sister. Message with your sister. Yeah, a couple of things. It's interesting because the first thing I saw in my head was a jump rope, but I'm not thinking it's actually like a jump rope. I mean, unless there was like a jump roping competition or there's a special connection to jump ropes. But I'm thinking it's referring to like a special like rope or something that's rope related that's connected to your sister that she's making reference to, because that's how I was seeing it, because I was seeing like rope, and so there's a reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging the 27th, so the 27th of a month may be significant, or that would be February 7th as well, if that's not the if it's not the 27th. She also keeps, thank you, there's a dog with her in spirit. I think it's a dog. It's small enough that it could be a cat, but I want to say it's a dog, so it looks like it's a like a fluff dog that's got a beigey white color to it. So there's a dog that she's making reference to, or that she's acknowledging. It almost reminds me of like a Pomeranian looking dog, but maybe a little bit bigger than that. She also keeps acknowledging. She's showing me a black and white picture. So I don't know if you have a special black and white picture that you associate with her, or there's a picture of both of you together that's black and white, because she's making reference to and acknowledging that as well. Okay. Butterflies are a sign from her, so look out for butterflies. Okay. Okay, let me go back over here. Let me see if I can get her back on. She's popped back on here. Nope, she's not on here. Okay, she's not on here. That's okay. Because it wasn't meant to be, because I don't see her on there. Let me connect to somebody else. Nope, that didn't connect either. What the hell? All right, that one disappeared. Let's try another person. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
I just recently had my fourth miscarriage, and I was wondering if I'm gonna end up pregnant soon or have a healthy baby soon.
First of all, I keep seeing two kids, two babies. Do you have any other children yet?
I have one daughter.
Okay, so I'm gonna say there's gonna be another then because I'm seeing two for you. So if you already have one, then that's my assumption is that there's gonna be another baby. Um, do you have high blood pressure issues or blood pressure irregularities?
I did when I was pregnant with my daughter, and then I also have diabetes.
Okay. I feel like the blood pressure issues might come back up again with the next pregnancy, or you just have to maybe take a look at your blood pressure if you get pregnant again, and then anything you can do to try to regulate that process might help to some extent. I also feel like you might be underproducing a specific type of hormone that might be necessary to make it easier for your system to kind of progress forward with the pregnancy. Um,
I'm thinking that's like the progesterone or whatever it's called. I think that might be my issue, low progesterone.
It's possible. I would also check your thyroid because I think your thyroid's also another area that's going to need a little bit of a boost because it might also be interacting or engaging with the process. To answer your question, I do see another baby for you, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit more time. There might be another period because I'm seeing baby energy around you in about 4 months. So I feel like around 4 or 5 months from now, there might be another period where you might get pregnant again, or you might be, you might be pregnant again. So just FYI, because I'm seeing baby energy around you in about 4 months. And then I'm seeing it again in 7 months. So that can mean a couple of things. That can mean, see, so 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 3 months after the 4 months. Yeah,
Could
I'm
that
seeing
mean
it.
I could possibly be pregnant right now?
It's possible.
Maybe?
I mean, it's possible because if I'm seeing baby energy in 4 months, and then I'm seeing it again in 7 months. Something felt weird about the 7 month one though, because I was like, what is that? Because it almost felt like it was a different type of energy with baby energy. What I'm going to say, that's a lot of weird ways you can interpret that. I'm just going to say you might find yourself pregnant again in about 4 months, or dealing with a baby situation again in about 4 months. And then in 7 months, there may be another thing that comes up at that time. So here's why it gets a little complicated, because whenever I see baby energy, it's one of four things actually that I associate with that. Either someone's pregnant, because whenever we find out we're pregnant, most people get happy or excited. Having a baby shower, which is the other event that happens around babies that people tend to have a lot of energy around, or it's having a baby, which is the third one. The only other thing is if there's someone changing with the system that has to do with the reproductive system that would also line up with baby energy. But I'm thinking that what I'm seeing in the 4 and 7 months has to do with baby energy. So what I'm going to say is keep trying. I do think you'll have another baby. Don't expect perfection. You just say, okay. And I think it's the same baby trying to get back in. So I don't feel like this is 4 separate souls that you've been dealing with. I actually think it's just the same soul trying to get back in, because it's like, no, girl, I signed up for you. You're my mother. I'm coming in one way or another. So it's the same soul that's going to keep trying. It's almost like when you miss your train, you catch the next one. So this baby's trying to get in. So just keep trying.
It's funny because I had a reading with you almost a year ago now, and you said the same thing about my 3 miscarriages.
That is not something that I commonly tell people. I've said that to a select few people, but it's not something that I see happening with a lot of people. This is the same soul. So just keep trying, but I'm seeing baby energy for you in 4 months, and then I'm seeing it again in 7 months. So just keep trying and seeing if you can hopefully get it with one of those.
And I just have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
I lately it's been weighing heavy on me that my grandma passed away on my birthday like years ago when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of weighs heavy on me. I was just wondering if she has any messages for me.
Yeah, with grandma,
we never really got along when I was younger.
She's doing this.
so normally when I see this as my symbol for didn't get a chance to say goodbye, or I wasn't able to be there before, I wasn't able to communicate. But there's also something, there's like a second layer to it. So let me ask that first. Were you there when she actually passed away?
No, so that night it was my birthday. Me and my parents were coming back from my other grandma's, and I wanted to stop in to say hi to my nana.
Mm-hmm.
And they said we'd go tomorrow, and then that's when we found out she passed the next day.
Got it. So here's the thing, because that's usually not getting a chance to say goodbye or not being present. So if you were not there, she's acknowledging that, and she's okay. She doesn't want you to worry about that. But she doubled up the meaning, and that was the second meaning was I didn't share, or I wasn't wanting to tell people. So either she didn't feel well that day and she decided not to tell people, or she just didn't want you to be there when she actually passed, because it might have been a difficult thing for her. She's not upset with you or angry with you. She's laughing. She's like, when am I not? So she's not upset with you or angry with you, but at the same time, she is acknowledging that she it was almost like I don't want people around for this.
She went really downhill after my grandpa passed.
Yeah.
And I know she was lonely and missing him.
Yeah, I feel like she was just letting herself degrade. And she just, it's almost like I have a death wish and I'm gonna make it happen. Like that's the way she makes me feel. So it's almost like she was just ready to go.
Yeah, she was ready to be with my grandpa again.
Yeah.
She was really lonely.
Yeah, she's with you, sweetheart. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. You take care of yourself.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, baby. All right, going up here. And oh, FYI, if you still hear me, seagulls might be connected to grandma, because I keep seeing seagulls or hearing seagulls in my head. So I'm assuming there's a connection there with grandma as well. So that might be a sign from her. Yeah, Jay Mobley, 19, Joshua M. When do you see Danny reaching out to me through call or text? Well, there may actually be a couple of attempts of communication. I'm thinking it's probably going to be within a week or week and a half. So I'm thinking it's only like a week and a half. But it also might be a couple of like attempts of communication, and one of them might be an accident. So be prepared, because there might actually be a message that might actually be an accident or not an intentional thing, and you might think it is, and then it make it a little bit complicated, so or confusing. So just FYI with that. Okay, let me go over here. Let's see. Okay. Oh shoot. Oh, that's what I was gonna go.
Hello?
Hello?
Kim?
Holy shit!
I wasn't. Hi, baby.
You're fine.
I didn't even think I was going to get through.
Oh, well, you here? You here?
So,
what you want to
I
ask me
have
about?
2 questions. The first question, which I feel is very important, I had this guy friend. We went to elementary school together. He passed away maybe 7, probably more. He got killed anyway, but we were really close, and he knew a lot of situations that I was going through in my home. And it's like every couple years he shows up in my dreams, like when I'm going through something. So I just wanted to know, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, he's actually sometimes whenever we share, first of all, y'all weren't just friends in this lifetime. There's actually history in other lifetimes with you two, because you may have actually been siblings in one lifetime. Y'all may have been a parent and child in another lifetime, and then in another lifetime, partners. And so it just depends on like when. I do think it's interesting, because I actually think in one of the last lifetimes y'all were both 2 gay men who were in a relationship. So
because
that was.
I'm like, I just know it's something, and it's like in this lifetime, I was just scared to go that route because we were so close, and I didn't want to jeopardize it. But he always wanted more.
Yeah.
But he was okay with being a friend. And when I was When I was
Yeah, because he
when I was
because he's a soul.
finally like
He's a soul.
ready to give in, he got killed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things. You could say he's the closest thing to a soulmate because I would say that
Wow.
that's the closest thing to a soulmate. That's what it looks like. Actually, a lot of people like don't understand the soulmate experience. When you're with a soulmate, or if you're having a soulmate experience with someone and you've got that connection, um, there is no harm. Like there's no intent to hurt each other intentionally. Always, it's like if you hurt your
Mm-hmm.
soulmate, you feel that pain, so you can't do hard to do it. And it's always like, I don't want to hurt you and I want to just support and nurture you. And there's always that vibe with that. And soulmates aren't always the same forever. Whenever people's souls evolve to different levels, they may change that up to a different connection. That's a better link for them as far as a soulmate is concerned. But as far as like him coming around and connecting with you, he's an unofficial spirit guide. And that's not a common thing for like a loved one who's passed to turn into a spirit
Mm-hmm.
guide. You have your main guide, but he's an spirit guide, which means he has permission to kind of come in and try to give you support as you're going through your journey. He's not going to tell you what to do, but he is going to let you know you need to open your eyes if you're facing something that you need to be way more aware of. And so he's going to try to help you out and give you a little bit of like, hey, you sure you want to do that? And hey, you said you didn't like this. And so he's just going to remind you of what you've already expressed and so forth. But he's an unofficial soulmate. He'll keep popping in. Unofficial
I
spirit.
felt like it was something because it seemed like every time like we have a conversation and then he leads me to a door and then I wake up. I'm like, what? Why are you never finished telling me what I need to do?
Voice. Yeah. Because they can't do it. They can't tell us what to. People always think, Ferny, can you ask my so-and-so what I should do? I'm like, they can't tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do because this is your life. You signed up for it. So why are you going to ask somebody else what to do with your life when you have to deal with the consequences of your actions? They don't have the right to tell us what to do. That's why they don't. They can guide us and support what already is supposed to happen, but they can't tell us what to do. But he's giving you choices and trying to help with you, help you with the guidance.
So happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
The second question was I don't know if it's like one or two in the same. So I'm also pursuing a career in entertainment, and the only reason I came on because I seen you talk to my friend with the scarf. So so it's like I quit my job. Like I'm completely all in with the modeling and acting career, but I also struggle with finding someone to share that life with because I came from a life of abandonment, and I want to give my all, but then again I'm scared. But it's like I want somebody to go on that journey with me.
So the problem with that, because there's a complexity to that. There was a past life that you had that back in like historical period when there used to be like a prominent female who had her maidens with her, and she was never alone. She always had her like clique with her, and this was back in the day. Well, you had a life like that, so you're used to never having to push yourself into a situation where you're taking a risk and you could be rejected. And so this lifetime, what you're living and the life of rejection is teaching you how to not allow rejection to get in the way of you seeing your own worth and value. Because in the past, in that lifetime, you had an established worth and value that wasn't based on who you were or what you did. It was just given to you in the lifetime because of your privilege. And so you had maidens who were always there with you as your best friends, just going along with everything that you did. You had a temper, they would agree with you. You did this, they would agree with you. I mean, you were a bitch. No. And so in this lifetime, you're very conscious of how you treat people. But there's also the sense of fear of rejection because you don't have anyone to back up or to make you seem as if you're incredible. You got to tell yourself that. You got to see that yourself in this lifetime. And so this lifetime is about you proving to yourself how incredible you are, but you're going to have to take the risk and do it alone. So you're not going to get that person in your life until you arrive to the feeling of, I love myself and I'm an incredible person and I've done an incredible job. And then that person will show up and they will join you, but they're not going to show up before that point. So you might have to do the groundwork first before that person shows up.
I have to ride this road by myself.
For a little bit.
and then you'll have somebody pop into the picture. I also think you're going to end up going into like, even though you're going into entertainment, what I keep seeing is I keep seeing two things in my head. One is I keep seeing
In
New
Chicago.
York. Where do you live at? Okay, I don't think you're going to stay in Chicago. I think you're going to end up in New York in the next 2 years. And so I feel like you're going to end up over there in the next 2 years. I also feel like you might actually get really into not just doing it, but teaching it. Because it almost feels like at some point you're going to teach what you know, and you're going to teach it in a way that's sharing the knowledge with people. So it's almost like you're the go-to for that
I'm kind of
method or
sort
for
of doing that
that
now.
ability.
I have a fashion show coming up. I have people coming up. Can you show me how? Do you have extra time? And I'm like, I don't.
This is the beginning. This is your training. Go with it. Do not turn that away. That is the universe saying, this is what you're supposed to be a part of, so you need to do it. So don't turn the universe away. It's trying to help you prepare, because you're going to be doing a lot more of that. So when if you're involved in a production and you know what what it's going to look like, what it needs to look like, you might be a part of it, but you're also going to help everybody else make it look the way it's supposed to.
That's definitely happened. Even with the movie I was just finished wrapping up, and with this fashion show, I find myself giving the directors and other people behind the scenes direction on how to successfully do stuff.
Yeah. You got it. This is your path.
I'm so grateful.
Okay.
So grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama.
All right.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Well, you take care, baby girl. Bye-bye. All right, let's see. Going over here. And then after this, I'm going to answer a few more of the comment ones, okay? Don't think I forgot about y'all. It's just easier to get people on video. Hi. Hi, sweetheart.
Like she said before, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
Oh no, here. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
So I have a few questions about my grandfather. I was fairly close to him when I was a child, and then at 15, I ended up going into like an adoption process with a different family, and then came to reconcile back with my grandparents and stuff like that. And he passed away in 2015, and we didn't. I mean, I was close to him, but he was also very like mentally and verbally abusive towards me. So my whole life, I always felt like some type of resentment towards him, like, oh, because he looked at me this way, that's why he didn't like me, or, you know, things like that. And so I'm just trying to see if, like, he has anything positive to say, because he was always, like, stern and hard.
Yeah.
And,
did he have a military background?
He does not,
okay.
No.
Here's what I'm going to say. No, there's something that I'm seeing with that. So I have an uncle, because when you talk about your grandpa, immediately the first thing I think of is my uncle Pascual. My uncle Pascual he was a bit of a bastard. And he was a very hard person, but he was always trying. A part of him was resentful because he never achieved the things he wanted to, and he blamed everybody else for it. But at the same time, he always tried to make himself seem as if he was like this person and build himself up, even though he wasn't. And so even though I had my issues with him, he did raise my sister. And he was an incredible, loving person to her. But with me, he was just a hard ass and just an asshole, right? And I feel like with your grandpa, it almost feels like, did you ever feel like you reminded them of your mom?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Because I almost feel like everything that he was doing with you is almost like he was just overshadowing a lot of the issues with your mom onto you, and then taking it out on you. So it's almost like you were a representation of your mom, and it's almost like I'm going to treat you the same way. And it's almost like you're the same person, and she was this. And then if they ever had a problem because he's apologizing, did they ever badmouth your mom, or did he ever badmouth your mom because he's making me feel like he would say some horrible things about her?
He did. My mother actually murdered my 2-year-old brother and 10 years ago. It's been a decade.
Yeah.
And he was alive at that time. And pretty much even before then, it was bad too. But after that, like, it got worse.
Yeah.
Like, he made me feel like I was nothing,
Yeah.
you know, and it makes me want to cry now because I still deal with that today.
No,
So,
but this is the burden to carry, right? This is the cross you have to carry. And I'm telling you this from experience, you can break through that and be something incredible because it's already there. You just have to figure it out and realize it and then put it out. And you'll come out of it because you're going to do some interesting things in your lifetime. But I think that he is definitely aware of who he was in life and how he was to you in a way where I feel like, thank you. A part of it is like taking all of his resentment and issues with your mom out on you, but at the same time trying to make you so small that you would never become your mom, because it was almost an embarrassment for the family as well. And also they had issues with her too, so it was like so your mom, though, I mean, she was not a well person mentally. You're not like your mother. You are not your mother, and so you won't have to go down that route. I will say that after you have a child or your first child, you may suffer from depression and a little bit of that feeling of detachment, but that's a natural thing you may experience. It'll go away. You'll get past it.
I was going to say, I have 2 kids already, so I've been through the PP many times.
Got it. So you're not your mother. I'm asking him if he needs to say something to you, and he is like just saying, "I'm sorry," and he just repeats that, "I'm sorry."
I believe him. I do, honestly, because before he was going to pass away, that's when he had like this huge change of heart for everybody and everything around him.
Yeah. Well, the reason why because he was always a control freak. And I think when he was dying and knew he was dying, he didn't have control over that. And I think that was frightening to him, and he didn't know how to deal with that. Buck. Do you know if there's like a Buck sounding name or nickname that's connected?
My name is Brock, my last name.
Okay. Your last name is okay. No, I don't think that's it. I almost feel like I'm thinking of like an animal. Do you know if there's like a Bucky or Buck or Bucks? I keep thinking of this like Bucks sounding name.
I don't, but I do know, because that was my second question, was we had a childhood dog in our family for the longest time since me and my sister were little kids. And just a few months ago, he had to get euthanized due to issues or whatever. And I just want to know if he is with my grandpa, if he was able to cross paths with him.
Yeah, he's acknowledging the animal because he was bringing up this animal, but I was hearing Buck or Bucky's. I kept thinking of Bucky's, which is like, in Houston.
Oh my gosh, he had a horse.
Okay.
He had a horse named Buck when he was little.
Okay.
And he used to ride them, and he used to break horses, and he had a horse named Buck. So yes, you're right.
So he's acknowledging.
That's awesome.
That was in a time where he was happier and he was just a better person. He was able to be a better person then. He's back to that mode when he was a better person. He's acknowledging this animal with him named Buck. So if he had a horse named Buck, that would make sense to me. He is also acknowledging your dog. Did your dog have an inflamed heart, or were there like an infection to the heart that was starting to affect the dog?
Yes, he had a heartworm.
Yeah. So he's got the dog with him. So he's confirming that as well. Again, he repeats himself. He says he is sorry. He also says, you are not your mother. And he's saying that you are not your mother.
Thank you. And I have one more question. I know my sister's actually watching through this too.
Yeah. Was she also
requesting
to come on? She was not. Okay.
No, she's just right now she's doing her homework and reading, like looking at us, I'm sure, right now at the same time. But she was also very, very close to my grandpa, and she would like to know if that he had anything to say to her.
Did y'all have a little hideout or like a tree house that he helped y'all with?
Yes.
Okay. He's acknowledging that.
We stored it.
Yeah. He came to her in a dream and he tried to say hello to her. She's a little bit more nervous or anxious person. And sometimes she doesn't. It's interesting because you have the confidence, you just haven't figured it out or realized it yet. She doesn't have that confidence, and she's very anxious in that way. And so she needs to work on just just like really pushing herself past her comfort zone because that'll help her. But he's almost like pushing her so like she doesn't let people treat her like crap. And he's like wanting to make
That's
sure
right.
she like makes that a point. And she might know what that's in reference to because that may be connected to some existing situations. So just FYI. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
I
sweetheart.
appreciate this. This was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. All right, mama. You take care of yourself.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So let me look at questions really quickly before I jump off here. Yeah, Mary Davis. She's like, you're the cutest thing ever. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. It's funny. I have a friend, Sandra, and she's always like, you know, you have that like naughty little boy look, like you're gonna get yourself in trouble, you know. And I was like, okay, I was laughing because like I'm a 39-year-old man, but it's funny because I still have that energy. And so I thank you, appreciate that. Let's see. Love what you do for people. Would love to know if my dad has any messages for me. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know if you've been doing some like family history or like ancestry stuff because I keep seeing like historical stuff and he's showing me this. So either there's a reference to this that he's wanting to acknowledge or he's just aware of what you're trying to do. He also keeps acknowledging a collage or like a series of pictures. And there may be like a set where there's like 4 or 5 that either are right next to each other, almost like show people over the ages because he's showing me something like that as well. So there's a reference to that as well. He also is acknowledging the number 12. So the 12th of the month may be connected or the month of December may be significant. And it's not for like the traditional reasons like Christmas or the holidays. It's more like there's a date of significance that's connected to the 12th or that's connected to December that he's making reference to. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, he's trying to give me a name and almost there's a name connected that he's trying to make reference to. It's either his name, the name of someone that's with him in spirit, or the name of someone that's alive he wants to say hi to or acknowledge. But it sounds like an R-O name, like a Robert or Robert or Rodney. It's R-O. So there's like an R-O name that he's making reference to. Male. I'm thinking it's a male because I'm seeing it as like a male's name as well. He also is acknowledging, thank you. Show me police lights, and I'm trying to figure out what that means. Either there's a like alarm, a white alarm that he's like, making reference to, or if you had something weird happen with like an alarm going off, that's his way of letting you know that he's around you. Okay. I was like, you don't even look like you're in your 30s. Yeah, 39, yo. You can tell from like the crows, like the what is it, crow's feet or whatever it's called, like right here. It's like you can tell right here. My sister's the same way because you can tell like our age by this. Do murdered people feel sad or angry about having to die? So it's a little more complex than that because here in the physical world, in the human world, in the human condition, we're so attached to this experience that we think that this is the thing that matters the most. But if you ask an actor, hey, are you mad or sad that you got killed off in that movie that you signed up for to play the part of the person that got killed off? Like, then it comes down to, okay, so that's, you kind of have to rework that idea because there are some instances where people, their souls choose to come through life and experience certain things. And so there are certain things that they go through or that is something relevant to their soul that on a soul level will benefit the soul. I'm not going to say that we all come in choosing to be molested or choosing to be killed. I'm not going to say that that's what happens. But there are instances where a soul chooses a challenged experience or is a part of a process. You know, what if there is, what if here's an example. I have a friend who was in a hit and run. So she was riding her bike down the street from work right after work. She lived like 3 or 4 blocks away from her job. And she got on her bicycle and it was at night and she, you know, was in the biking lane, the designated biking lane, and she was on her way home. And a woman who was drunk and in a truck just plowed right through her and left her for dead. Did not even turn around to go back and help her. She actually went home and there was blood still on the front of her truck. And she called the guy that she had gone out with that day, cried and cried and cried that she thought she hit a dog and was making a big ordeal about her hitting a dog. He came over feeling bad for her because he thought she had hit a dog. And then she had sex with him and then he stayed over. And so he became a witness in her trial when they brought her to when they brought him the person that killed her to trial. And so this was a devastating situation because that was already hard to experience that, from the perspective of being her friend, my friend's friend, and I was really broken up over that just because of the experience all in itself. But I got a chance to talk to my friend after she passed, and she said that what she told me was that, she's like, oh yeah, she's like, I'm good with it, and I was like, okay, what do you mean? And she's like, she's my friend. Like, we're friends on the soul level. And I agreed that I was going to teach her a lesson that she wanted to gain. And I was going to be that part for her so that she could gain that lesson. And she's in prison. She went to prison, but she's gaining a lesson. She's learning some things through this whole experience she's going through. And so this is something that I agreed to when I came into life. And so that's what my friend told me. I don't like the idea of that. I don't really care to even think of it that way, but I've heard the same thing from other spirits as well, who have also had experiences that are very, very difficult like that. And so this is not a first time that I've heard something like that from a spirit. So sometimes we do sign up for things and we get involved with situations like that in life, because it's when we look at the world and our reality through the lens of like a spirit in form, or like a soul in spirit or energy, we see this as like just like a movie that is ongoing. There are many complex like episodes and like things that are getting worked through, but at the end of the day, it's still a movie. And once you're done, you clock out and then you get off the stage and you go back into your trailer, which is your heaven or whatever you want to call it. And so that's what we do. So you have to see it from a completely different vantage point. Granted, there are spirits that come through when I'm doing readings for people who are trying to give us support and help us understand, and even to help us to and in some instances, to help to find information that has to do with their passing. But that's the spirit, that's the personality that is still very much kind of like a representation of who they were. And in some cases that is supposed to happen. They're supposed to help us in some way, depending on that person and the path that they chose on a soul level. So the soul always trumps the spirit. The spirit always trumps the human physical form. So it's kind of like a lineage there. The soul and the spirit are two different things, by the way, guys. People think the soul and the spirit are the same thing. They are not. The soul is the version of you that's the most aware version of you, that has all of the lifetimes it's experienced at its knowledge base. The spirit is just one personality from one lifetime. That's the difference. And here's a kicker for you. A few months after my friend died, where she was run over by someone who was intoxicated and left for dead, a few months later, because I was having such a hard time coming to peace with that in my heart, a few months later, we had a family member in our family who got behind the wheel when they were on drugs, and they hit a Good Samaritan who had stopped to help someone who was dealing with an issue on the road. The Good Samaritan was stopping to help somebody who was like hurt, and then she hit the Good Samaritan. This family member hit the Good Samaritan and left them for dead. Now, her position on it is that she didn't know that she hit somebody because she was on drugs. But now she's in jail as well. And so both of them got sentenced to the same amount of time. So I got that experience on the opposite side a few months after my friend died, that same way. And so I got to see both sides of the coin. And I will say this, it is painful on both sides, because with the family member, the people in our family did not even want to go to that person's trial. They didn't want to go to the trial. They didn't want to be a part of it because they were so upset, so embarrassed, and so disappointed in her for having done that. And so it's a really interesting experience to see both sides of it. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you super much for tuning in. I will be back on Wednesday. Wednesday will be my last live for a week, because I'm going to be off for a few days to be in Houston, because I've got to go for a wedding. So I won't be doing the Friday live next